Some of you may be new to the gig economy space, rideshare, food delivery, etc. You may have never heard of the Uber Rental Program. The Uber Rental Program is supposedly an opportunity, if you want to call it that, for Uber rideshare drivers to rent a vehicle in select markets and use them to drive on the Uber platform. It's a way to drive without the financial burdens of the costly car repairs that may arise due to the heavy wear and tear drivers tend to put on their personal vehicles. The rental program is also a great way for drivers who do not have a car, whether your car broke down, or even a current repossession, and or if you're having trouble financing another vehicle, this could be a viable option. So you may be hearing this and be thinking, hey, that's me, and you would love to find out how to get started. So let me tell you how the whole thing works. Uber partnered with Hertz and Avis Rental. In my market, Hertz is the only option. Hertz in my market, I have to stress, this is specific to my market, so please do your own research. There is no security deposit, no credit check. What you need to know though, so what you will need is a credit card or a debit card, your driver's license, and the first week payment available in your bank account or on your credit card. You must be 25 years of age or older, at least in my market. The rental agreement is a week-to-week basis, so you may need to either return the vehicle back to the rental location or extend it each week. Now you can auto extend, which means you're giving Hertz the right and authorization to take that payment from your bank account or credit card each week. This could be done 180 days, which is 6 months, before you would physically have to extend at the location, meaning you would have to go back. You also have to complete 30 rides to auto extend as well. And no, it can't be Uber Eats, it has to be rides. At least that's what it says on paper, but I don't think most of these locations really actually care. Hertz also offers car insurance. If you don't have any or you just don't want to use your own, that's a viable option as well. Now keep in mind, this is an additional fee. However, it does cover all costs of damage inside and out with zero deductible. The process for me was pretty smooth. Besides being an hour and 20 minutes away from one of the locations in my market, and it's the one and only location in my market, everything is pretty seamless. They add the vehicle onto your Uber account for you because they'll ask you your email address and your password for your email. So if you want, you could always change that password in the future, but yeah, that's what they ask you for. And then all you have to do at that point is drive off the lot, turn on the Uber app, start recouping that money that you just put in. Oh, any maintenance and inspections can be done at one of Hertz's several vendors. They will give you a list of which locations are in network, and they are usually huge brands like Firestone and Mavis, just to name a couple. This definitely came in handy because I didn't realize that the brake lights and the rear turn signals were all out when I rented the vehicle. So I was able to contact Uber Hertz maintenance department and get a voucher for the repairs and get them taken care of at a local Firestone location instead of driving all the way back an hour and 20 minutes away. Smoking is prohibited in the vehicle, and if they find evidence of you doing so, you'll be hit with a $500 fee. Their vehicles now come with dash cams in them already. I unplugged it when I was in my off time, seeing that Uber has access to the footage, and I felt like it was extremely weird to be running like personal errands, having my daughters in the car, etc., and just having them be able to see what I'm doing at all times. Now, what you all came here for, let's talk about the total cost of the vehicle. They charge $325 per week. I paid extra for the XL, which is totally not worth it in my market, at least if you ask me. But it was either that or take the Tesla that was left or any of the other electric vehicles because they had plenty. I didn't want that, so I just went with the extra fee. I also paid an additional fee because I took their insurance, which was $13.99 per day, which comes out to about $97.93 per week. Then there's the license. Then there's the vehicle license cover fee, which I don't even know. I guess that's for licensing purposes, I guess, whatever that is. That was $3.36. Lastly, of course, there was tax, which is 15%, which is weird because I Googled it, and in my state, it says that rentals should only tax you between 3% and 8%. So I don't even know how they get away with that, but whatever. So that comes up to $68.21. So the grand total was $494.50. I started started the rental program March 14, 2025. And in this video, I will be telling you my experience from that time till April 9th, 2025. I spent a total of $1,978 in 4 weeks. In the 4 weeks that I had the car. Now, I technically haven't had it for a complete 4 weeks, but they take the first payment up front. So that's why I counted the 4th week. I grossed $2,662.49 from Uber, DoorDash, and Delivered. I spent $300 in gas per week, $15 on car washes, and $10 in vacuum. So I made a profit of only $259.49. Yes, terrible. Take into account I didn't work nowhere near as many hours as I should have because I had a lot of things going on, and also my wife has her own business as well, so I stayed home with my youngest kids when she had clients. If you guys are interested, I'll do another video breakdown of a full month of me working hard, doing 60 to 84 hours, and do a comparison in the differences. Here's my recommendations. If you do the Uber rental program, make sure, 1, you have some savings. Don't get into this with your last little bit of money unless you absolutely have no other choice. 2, have at least one credit card with at least $300 on it. It could be a gas card through a gas station like BP, Shell, etc. But this will just help alleviate some of that gas bill. So when you need to fill up your tank, you won't have to keep cutting into your actual profit, even though you have to pay it back. But you get my drift. At least you have the money up front is what I'm saying. Number 3, hustle, hustle, hustle. And this should be number 1, but you know, I had to put this in there in number 3, but this should be number 1. You have to be willing to put in long hours. I stress that. You have to be willing to put in long hours, 60 to 84 hours a week or even higher. Your first month to 3 months, depending on how long you plan on renting this, you need to be saving aggressively. That's the only way that this will work. You have to work like crazy, guys. I'm telling you. I try to save between $200 to $500 a week. That's about $800 to $2,000 a month that you can set aside. And then with that money, you can set it aside to put down on a new vehicle or to pay for a cash one. It just depends on whatever one you plan on doing. All right. Invest in cleaning products. Go on Amazon. They have like the vomit kits you could put on the back of your seat for the bar goers and stuff like that. Uber was supposed to pay $40 cleaning fee. They used to. Now, however, they want you to actually get a receipt of you taking it to a professional and getting it cleaned. Drivers used to just, show the picture, send the picture, and we would clean it up ourselves, and then we would just recoup the $40, which was helping us because it was paying for the downtime of us having to stop taking rides and having to clean our car. And then sometimes, in certain cases, you may even have to let it air dry and things of that nature. So you might not be able to drive for a few hours, maybe even for the rest of the night. But they got rid of that, guys. So just be careful. Now you know. I'm just giving y'all the heads up. So just make sure you get, your typical stuff: paper towels, hand soap, a spray bottle you can fill with some water to wash your hands on the go, some disinfectant wipes, some gloves. Try to get you a vacuum cleaner. You can find a very cheap portable vacuum cleaner on Amazon. And these are just some things, some essentials, because these are things that will help you save not only on time, but you in the long run, you'll save on money because you won't have to go to places to get these things done. I also would recommend looking up at Amazon has some self car washing systems. They're really cheap. All you would have to do is buy a couple of gallons of water from Walmart. It comes with the soap. If you run out of the soap, you can always get new soap. It literally is like a portable water hose. It can connect to your car. They also have some that even charge, and they're between like $30 to $50. Now you might say, oh, that's more money I'm spending, but at the end of the day, that's more money you're saving in the long run because you're now not spending $15 or $20 a month on a membership for a car wash. All right. It all adds up. Trust me. That thing will pay for itself within the first 2 to 3 months. So this is just something good to have, even if you're not doing a rental, but you're just a rideshare driver or even any type of driver, right? Any type of delivery driver. It's just a good thing to have. All All right. And then it also works for somebody who doesn't live in a home. Now, if you live in a house, obviously you have a water hose. You don't need this, but this is good for a person who lives in an apartment. Number 5, I would say pack your food. Do not waste your money buying food. That's just another useless expense. Buy some plastic containers, some sandwich bags, get you an insulated book bag, food warmer. All this stuff can be found on Amazon, Temu, and even Shein. Now, I know some of you probably are thinking, how could you work more than 84 hours? Because Uber only allows you to work 12 hours per day. And if you do the math, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week is 84 hours. Now, Uber will allow you to get back on the app after being offline for 6 hours. So let's say you worked from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. All you would have to do is go offline until 10 p.m. and then you can work a whole nother 12-hour shift. All right. And technically, seeing that the new day doesn't start until 4 a.m., that's how you can actually work 18 hours. Because if you get back on at 10 and you work from 10, that's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another 6 hours. 6 hours plus the 12 you've already worked, that's 18 hours. So you can technically work 18 hours because their pay period for a day is considered the new day at 4 a.m. All right. You might be a part-time person and you're saying, can this work for me? Yes, it can work for you too. Now, this is typically good for somebody who may not have, if you don't have a car. Let's say you have a job, you work a full-time job, and you don't have a vehicle. Maybe your vehicle was damaged in an accident. Round that out. If you work 5 days a week, all right, you only would have to make $98.90, which is pretty much $100 a day, right? And that will pay for that vehicle for you. Now, that's with my numbers. That's not even including if you go and let's say you get a small car, which will be cheaper. All right. So you can make that with a few airport runs, right? You could do probably like 3 or 4 airport runs, depending on your city and how it's mapped out. And you can make that, especially if you're in a very good city that has very good surge. All right. So that's all I got for this one for you guys. I hope this helps anybody out that's willing to, that's looking into doing this. And most importantly, make sure you live in a very good market. You need to live in a very good market. You need to live somewhere where you can gross $2,000 to even $3,000 in a week. I would say anything less than that, it might be a little tough on you, but it depends on you and what you can live off of. Some people can live off of $500 or $600 a week. You can definitely take home $500 or $600 a week in a rental. However, to take home $500 or $600 in a week, you're going to have to make well over $1,000 because you have to give them back their money, which is about, in my case, was $500 a week. So giving them back $500 plus spending on gas. For me, I was spending about $300 roughly a week in gas. So if I'm spending $300 a week in gas, that's $800. So for you to make a profit of $500, you would have to make $1,300. You know what I'm saying? So which is doable. It's just definitely doable. And the good thing is you can work different apps. All right. You just can't work the competitor. So obviously you can't work for Lyft. But the good thing about Uber is you got UberEats, you got Uber package deliveries, you have all of that. You still could do Amazon Flex, Roadie, Shipped, Instacart, DoorDash, Grubhub, Freight. I mean, you name it. You can put this vehicle on every other platform and still use it for all the other platforms. So you're not limited to just Uber. So again, if you wanted to work more than 84 hours in a week and you didn't necessarily want to take the 6 hours of downtime, then you could always just do DoorDash in those 6 hours of downtime that you would do and still do an 18-hour week, or you know what I'm saying, or 6 hours on another app. All right. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Let's get this in the algorithm. This may help somebody. And if you guys have any other questions, if you want to know a little bit more, you guys can email me at myappealinglife@gmail.com, or you can go over to my page, my About Me section on YouTube. I guess that's what it's called. And I have a phone number there as well. You could text me at that number or call me. Text would be easier. I answer that faster. Again, if you have any other questions. So I'm out. Peace.